Saturdays.
Magic again.
Messi through 4.
Brilliant!
Threads it in. And there's the goal from Pedro.
It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 94.9 32 FM. I love that, and that's actually deliberate for me this afternoon. Just for you to know that sound, when you hear that, there's a feeling. There's a feeling I do get, and that feeling I'm getting as we speak right now. As we're counting down, I'm also counting down to a couple of hours to the last league games now, not group, of this year's UEFA Champions League. I'm glad to be here. I am Peter Omo. I've got SAMIES with me in the studio. We'll talk Champions League. We'll talk the NPFL. There's midweek game. And as we speak, 2 games are going on. We'll keep you up to speed with that. Let's start with UEFA Champions League. And of course, for some fans will be saying, my teams have got no business. Some will say, my teams have got plenty of business. Because if we don't lose, we are out of it. Let's talk about those who've got chances of qualifying automatically for the round of 16 without going through the playoff. SAMIES is here. It will help us. It will also help me do some breakdown of where we are and where we'll likely be in the next few hours. SAMIES, for Liverpool Football Club, they sit top of that log. Have they qualified for the UEFA Champions League round of 16? The waiting stands as we speak.
Well, it's definitely so great to be here to discuss about some sporting stories. And the biggest one for today and probably for the week is the UEFA Champions League, where it is the last match day in the league format. Remember that this is the newly introduced, that's a league phase of the UEFA Champions League. And the coming years, we are going to see this sort of format. 6 teams started this competition. And I could tell you that by the end of today, teams would be out of this year's edition of the UEFA Champions League. Starting out from all of the games, those that qualified, we had sides who also qualified for the first time in their history, qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. Slovan Bratislava from Slovakia, Brest from France, Bologna from Italy, and then we have Girona from Spain. But for Aston Villa, a lot of people will say they've won the European Cup before. That was in the year 1982. But since the UEFA Champions League was rebranded in the year 1992, Aston Villa made a return to the UEFA Champions League this season. But then we look at the table from the top 8. We talk about the top 8. That was the rule set by the UEFA Champions League, that the top 8 sides would qualify automatically into, that's the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. While teams are from 9 to 24, we slug it out. That's in another knockout phase. You go head-to-head against each other, and then those who qualify would get into the next round of the UEFA Champions League. Joining that 8, that qualified automatically to play in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. So after games has been played, for those sides who are away this midweek, they've played 4 home games. And you look at the number of games that they've played. From the 7 games they've played, for Liverpool Football Club, the perfect side in the UEFA Champions League. And that's a good way to do it also. The newly introduced format, you have 7 wins from 7 games played. Right. A maximum of 21 points. They top the table. You ask the question, have they qualified automatically into the knockout stages? Yes, Liverpool Football Club, they've qualified automatically. But there is one thing that can change. If they don't get a victory later today, that's against their opponents, they would have surrendered their position to Barcelona. Should Barcelona also get a victory later today against Atlanta in their UEFA Champions League. But you talk about the other sides from 3rd position to the 8th position. You talk about Arsenal Football Club, Atlanta, Atletico de Madrid, AC Milan. You also have that's Bayer Leverkusen. All of these sides, they've qualified into the UEFA Champions League. But one thing can also change because of the points difference in which they have. For Arsenal, they've also qualified automatically into the round. That's the round of 16. But a few things can change because the point difference from 9th position to let's say that's 18th position. That's where Celtic lies. They have Celtic has that's 12 points, and then you look at the team placed on the 8th position, Bayer Leverkusen, they have 13 points. So a lot of these things can change, and the only side that I can see that a difference I can really make is Atlanta Football Club. Well, of course, if they don't get a victory later today, well, where would they be for Bayer Leverkusen if they don't get a victory also later today?
Right, so
where would they be?
We'll come to that because I know it was Liverpool I was trying to check. And 7 games, 7 wins with 21 points. They've secured that place in the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Doesn't matter where they finish second, third, fourth. What matters is that they will be there. Quickly also, let me also state that Barca will play against Atalanta. And like SAMIES mentioned, these two sides as we speak are in that top 8. But anything can change. Arsenal Football Club also in that top 8. They play away in Spain against Girona. Inter Milan also will be looking for a win in their game. And I'm just looking at it. The only side that are tied or play each other in this top 8 is Football Club Barcelona and Atalanta.
Atlanta, yes.
Others are playing teams away from that 8.
Yes.
And so all they need to do is to get a win in their game and don't care what happened in the other half.
But then, there is this game I think lots of attention would want to be. That's 2023 winners of the UEFA Champions League, Manchester City. Right. A lot of eyes would be on that game at the Etihad Stadium when they face off against Club Brugge later tonight. But guess what? Both Manchester City and Club Brugge, they can still qualify into the next round. That's play at the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League before maybe sealing a spot in at the round of 16. Why? How can they qualify? For Club Brugge, well, they are placed, that's 28th. That's on the standings of the UEFA Champions League. While Manchester City are just one spot outside, that's the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League with 8 points. Should Manchester City win against Club Brugge, they would have 11 points. Yeah. Should Club Brugge lose, they will still be locked on to their 12 points. So what happens? To
their 11 points.
To their 11 points. So what happens if the result comes to be like this? That means if Stuttgart doesn't get a victory later today against Paris Saint-Germain, which definitely would be a difficult job for them, they are out of the UEFA Champions League. If Sporting CP, who hasn't won a game of the UEFA Champions since Ruben Amorim left, they would be out of the UEFA Champions League. Okay. So that means Manchester City and Club Brugge would qualify into the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League. Remember that Paris Saint-Germain saved themselves from all of this with that victory they got at the Parc des Princes that's last week against the Manchester City. So for Benfica also, if they don't get a victory later today, I think it's also going to be the end of the way for them. So they should actually get a victory for themselves, because you look at Manchester City, Dynamo Zagreb, and Shakhtar Donetsk. They still have something to fight for in the UEFA Champions League.
So my next point will be, is it likely for us to see one of these big sides not making the round, not the round of 16 now, not making the playoff?
Well, it is possible. The only place this is possible, because you look at it, it's only Manchester City who are in that position of not qualifying into the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League. And the only way that is possible is facing off against a side who has gone 13 games without a defeat. It's going to be difficult for Pep Guardiola's
Club
Brugge. Going against that side is going to be difficult for Manchester City. You look at the run they've also had in the UEFA Champions League. They are winless in their last 4 games in the UEFA Champions League. And then you look at all of these things. Even the games that actually should see them win, they went on to capitulate in that encounter against Feyenoord, where they were leading by 3-0. So before the end of 90 minutes, you can't say, if the whistle is not blown, you can't say the game is over for Manchester City to actually go home with the victory. Because against Paris Saint-Germain last week, they also looked like a side set to win that game. But at the end of the day, they lost by 4-2. So as it stands, only Manchester City with their big money, they have the most expensive squad in the UEFA Champions League. But they are likely to miss out of the UEFA Champions League, and that their players also, they've come out to say that, well, they are more focused on the Premier League now, because the position they find themselves in the UEFA Champions League is not at that of a greater one for a certain club side like Manchester City. But aside from all of these things, well, we have some sides who definitely have been disappointed with also in the UEFA Champions League this season. And that happens to be RB Leipzig from Germany. I'm disappointed in their performance. For Bologna, well, I'm also disappointed in their performance in the UEFA Champions League, despite let's say, a rush they had last season. They finished in the top 4 in the Italian Serie A, which made them qualify automatically for the UEFA Champions League. Maybe Shakhtar Donetsk also, and Dynamo Zagreb. These sides, they play season in, season out in the UEFA Champions League. But what happened this season, for the likes of Young Boys and Slovan Bratislava, who don't have a point in the UEFA Champions League, 0 points it is they have presently in the UEFA Champions League. I'm maybe not really surprised, because Slovan Bratislava, this is their maiden appearance in the UEFA Champions League. For Young Boys, we don't hear much of them in the UEFA Champions League, rather the UEFA Europa League. But for Salzburg, also it is somewhat of a bad performance I've seen from this side. So from Bologna, who are seated 28, they've been out of the competition. So we have like 9 sides also out of the UEFA Champions League this season. Right. That's Bologna, Sparta Prague, Leipzig, Girona, Crvena Zvezda, Sturm Graz, Salzburg, Slovan Bratislava, and Young Boys.
All right. So for those who might just be wondering, that name that SAMIES called now, the side from Serbia, usually they're known as Red Star Belgrade. So that will help you. Okay, just to put that straight there. And of course, for the other team, talking about Slovan Bratislava from Serbia, so it doesn't look good for them. But hey, the question will now be, where will your eyes be tonight? Will it be on the game between Manchester City and Club Brugge, or your eyes will be in the game between Barcelona and Atalanta? Atalanta, don't forget, there will be no Demola Lookman in that side later tonight, where they play in the city of Barcelona. All right,
but we look at the coefficient of the UEFA Champions League also. For all the French sides that qualified for the UEFA Champions League, do you know they are making the knockout stages of the competition?
Okay.
You talk about Brest, who are making their first appearance in the UEFA Champions League. Monaco, they are there. Paris Saint-Germain.
Monaco is not new.
I'm talking about the French sides in the UEFA Champions League. They are going to make it the knockout stages. Right. That's Paris Saint-Germain, Monaco, Brest, making the knockout stages of the UEFA Champions League.
All right, so let me also add quickly, for this is also very important, that like Sammy said, the top 8 will qualify automatically for the UEFA Champions League round of 16. And in the other half, I think from 9 to 23rd or 24th now, 24th, they will go into the playoff. And now, quickly, let me also add, 16 teams will go into that playoff, and then we'll have to see 8 teams join the top 8 from the league stage. The other 8 will drop down to the UEFA. So that's how you have it. And so for the guys who don't get into this point, they'll be going home. At the moment as we speak, help me with that. Those that will be going home right now, in case it finishes this way, Manchester City, Dynamo Zagreb, Shakhtar Donetsk, Bologna, Spartak Prague, Leipzig, Girona, Red Star Belgrade, Sturm Graz of Austria, Salzburg from Austria, Slovan Bratislava from Serbia, and Young Boys. So there you have it. We'll quickly switch to some other teams. And when we come back, definitely we're not done with Scoreboard. We'll be giving you more in terms of the MPFL. What is happening in the MPFL? 2 games going on. And Ibadan people, once you're done with work, maybe you close by 4 or 5, find your way to the Lake of Salami Stadium, because Shooting Stars will be home. They play against Nasarawa United. We'll be back in a jiffy. So I know there's one thing that I've done before. I think a couple of years ago when 32 FM started, 7 years, our first Champions League 9 that we air on this day was on Valentine's Day. And so today is not Valentine because there's Champions League football, but there's Valentine, there's champagne. So Danica is here. She will tell us what we need to know. Valentine is
You're reminiscent about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Throwing it back for us.
Just going back. And I remember the game was Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. And I was here running commentary of that game. So
Amazing.
hey,
Good
all right.
memory.
Yeah, it starts me. All right, so Denike is here. Denike, what is it got for us?
SAMIES, are you in the Valentine mood? Because you are looking at me like you're ready for Valentine.
January is over, so we anticipate the love of month.
Yeah, the Lovers Month, absolutely.
All right.
So I'm here to talk about Lovers Night 2025.
Not scoreboard, right?
Not Scoreboard. Yeah, so Lovers Night 2025, 32 FM and Galani Suite. So it is us. It is not an external anything. It is us right here presenting to you Lovers Night 2025 for February 14. And there's so much to look forward to. There's so much to enjoy on that day. And we don't want you to be skeptical about the kind of fun and enjoyment and entertainment that is coming your way. We have a free night stay already booked and ready for you on that particular day. So after the event, you get to enjoy with your lover and you get to go up to your room and have a great night's sleep. And we also have couples games, live band performance. There's going to be comedy. I mean, in Ibadan, if you want to go for a comedy event, ticket prices are probably like 10 or 15K, and you get all of that even inside this offer that we have for you. So there's comedy, there's karaoke, there's buffet. We know how much buffet, if you have to go to any restaurant or any hotel in Ibadan, how much all of that will cost. And everything is inside one package for 50,000 naira per couple. So it's not 50K, my wife 50, my husband 50, my babe 50, none of that.
Okay, no, you just got to where I just want to pick you from. So when you say couples, I was thinking, okay, married couples or even those who are not married but lovers?
Lovers in general. We call it Lovers Night. So Lovers Night 2025. And it is 5 p.m. The door will be opened at 5 p.m. and it's a Friday. So TGIF.
I also learned that when the couples or the lovers wake up on Saturday morning, they can have some gym session also. Exactly.
You can, of course, get to access every facility at this particular hotel. We're talking about Galani Suites. You get to enjoy the environment, the serene environment. You also get to enjoy. There's a gym feature as well. So if you want to work out that morning, you're also assessing. You can also assess that.
Also swim.
Yes, there's also a swimming pool available. So yes, is everything encompassing that you get to enjoy for that night. So you can call SAMIES on 070 37868 Shell or 0703 6021 608, or you can come by our station, 4th floor, Cocoa House, to pay for your tickets and get all the information you need. Because we know that some people might want to walk into the studio or walk into the station. That's okay as well. 4th floor, Cocoa House, that's where we're located, and we'll be waiting for you.
You know, one other thing you didn't mention Nigerians love to hear: security.
Security, yes, of course. Security is covered. There is no issue whatsoever. It's going to be a great night. We're going to have fun, and you have no worries whatsoever. We're going to be secured 100%.
Absolutely. So there you have Denike on there. And so we switch away from that in terms of what I'll be here. I'll talk more about it. Not today, but definitely when we come on Thursday afternoon, and of course Thursday morning we'll talk more about that event happening in Ibadan. 32 FM Lovers Night 2025. Okay, so let's switch back to some football news, and don't forget the other time I was talking about the MPFL games going on. But before we talk about the MPFL game, let me allow you to take a listen to Brownie Day. He is complaining. Take a listen to him.
Okay, what it's like now. You know, when you left the Nigerian league, you played abroad, you are back home now. You played 1 or 2 matches. How is it like?
It's getting worse. You know, the system is getting worse. The league is not getting better. I feel like we have a long way to go in the league. And for me, I feel like my time with 𝐒𝐈𝐒 has been wonderful. But there's a lot of things in the league that has to improve, that is yet to improve.
Okay, what, like specifics?
I can't mention it now. I'm not in the right mood. I can't mention it now. With time, I'll get to talk about it.
Your continental experience, how has it been?
That's what I'm saying. You know, we are not ready for it. The whole Nigerian team that qualified for continental, if they have to say the truth, ask them how they prepare for the game. You understand? Ask them how they prepare for the game. We are not well prepared. In terms of traveling, bad. In terms of feeding, bad. In terms of hotel, bad. In terms of how the players relax, bad. So we Nigerians are not ready for continental. For me, I feel like we should put our house together before we can go play continental instead of going there to disgrace ourselves.
Voila, deal. SAMIES. Someone said, so why did you come to play in the league? Didn't you do your check well to see how players' welfare is all about? Is this new? Why didn't you speak with Ahmed Musa? Or maybe Ahmed Musa knew all these things. They were just trying to just bottle it or manage it. He's playing for Enyimba of Aba, if not the biggest, one of the biggest club side in the land. He's talking about welfare. He's talking about hotel. He's talking about how to travel. He's talking about Nigerian club side. If you are never ready for continental, just sit back and adjust things. Enyimba got bundled out of this year's CAF Comfort Cup. No team in the CAF Champions League. In all of this, and again, this is a player who came back to play in the MPFL. I think he did with Dynamo Kiev, play UEFA Champions League at the point in time with the Ukrainian club. So and he's 38, 37 now, I think. 38. But this thing that he's saying, is he new or is just trying to just sound like a broken record?
Well, I respect Brownie Day for first coming back to the Nigeria Premier Football League to play with or for a side in his nation of birth. But then, you look at everything that he has said. Is it true? Yes. But how many times, or when was the last time this was voiced by players who happened to be trading their game proper in the Nigeria Premier Football League? Brownie Day came from Europe, and then maybe he's using that standard to make it a yardstick, making that comparison what he has seen in Europe and what is going on in the home that's the home scene. But what we talk about welfareism, everything he has said, how many for Enyimba, I don't think they can pay him. For Kano Pillars, I don't think they can pay Ahmed Musa and Shewa Abdullahi. Those guys, they've tasted money. They know what it feels like to be that a high earner. But then you look at their peers, those they are trading their games with, in that club side. Can those guys boast of a home? They are playing for their side. That's in Nigeria Premier Football League side. Can they boast of a home? How many endorsements do they have? How many deals are coming their way? This is what happens in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And for Enyimba, he has said everything going on. Probably sides in Nigeria are not ready for continental success. The last team that really won something in Nigeria on the continent happens to be this Enyimba, 03-04, if I'm correct. 03-04. Has any other Nigerian side done anything great on the continent? No. We've not done anything close to what Enyimba they've done on the continent. So you look at it, those sides who have gained qualification, didn't make it out of the group stage or lost in the round in the quarterfinals. Why is it so? We are really not ready, and things should be done to enhance, promote, develop the Nigeria Premier Football League. Right. It also starts from within. Those that are selected, I'm not talking about election now. Those that are selected to be the governing bodies of club sides or to lead or to govern a Nigeria Premier Football League. What do they really know when we talk about football? But for Kanu Nwako in Enyimba Football Club, yes, he knows about football, but is it the right appointment? And there was this issue about in which 𝐔𝐒𝐄 Okocha came out to clear the air. He was not given the free will to definitely do what he wants to do back then. Okay, I remember you talking about him being the Delta State FA chairman and all that. If we continue like this, like I said the other time, the question I posed to you was, Granny Day sound like a broken record. I don't think Sam is also doing the same. So let's just wait to see. I don't think this guy is going to enter any hot soup, so to say. So who can confront him? He's saying the truth. Because you said something, coming back to play in the MPFL, but nobody forces you to come and play in the MPFL. Nobody. If you think it's not right, you can walk out of Enyimba. And of course, you can be a pundit. As we speak, 2 games, halftime, almost here. In Bayelsa, it's halftime between the Bayelsa and Sunshine Stars. It's 1 apiece in that game. Academy lead against Rangers by 0-0. And later today, from the next 4 minutes, we'll see Aqua United, who lost in the last game at home to Remo Stars by 2-2, and they'll be playing against Lobby Stars of Makurdi. Ikorodu United will play against Kano Pillars for Ikorodu game. The fans
are not allowed in, and so the fans must stay away from that game, find a way to see, and of course, if you can watch the game, but not inside the main bowl in Lagos. All right, Ikorodu United, like I said, play against Kano Pillars, Remo Stars. We play against Abia Warriors. We'll be hoping they get maximum point to consolidate their points and where they are on the top of the summit. Shooting Stars of Ibadan will be hoping for a win. If they get a win, they will jump from third to second. For 5:30 this evening, that's the time for the game right here in Ibadan, Lekon Salami Stadium. Shooting Stars home against Nasarawa United. SAMIES will have to go, so that we'll go prepare. If you want to go to the stadium to watch the game, fantastic. If you want to go home and watch the UEFA Champions League, also good for you. What will I be watching tonight? I don't know. I'm been checking and checking. Where will my eyes be? My eyes will be everywhere. Trust me. One will come on Thursday morning. I'll be here by His grace for that, and that will be Scoreboard in 15. SAMIES, thank you so much for your time, and bigger thanks to you out there. That's the much we can take on the show this afternoon. Coming up is the news. I am Peter Omo.